Embark on your journey, the path you must take. Though hate may surround you, it's not your fate to forsake. Co-creating your destiny in the dance of time. The guiding light within you ignites the sublime. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light, shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. In the depths of your being, the truth resides. Embrace your power, let your spirit rise. With every step forward, you transcend the expanded conscious community we commend. Through trials and triumphs, your soul evolves in the symphony of life, where every note resolves. Listen to the whispers of your inner voice. In unity and love, let your heart rejoice. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light, shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light, shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. As we gather together in this sacred space, embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way in unlocking potential day by day. Embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way, unlocking potential day by day.
Yes, y'all. I'm here. Let's go. I hope you're ready for a great show. I'm excited once again to be with you here on this Thursday evening. And as we all go through shifts, we all go through changes, we all go through things we call life. Just know you don't have to care about the East Wing of the White House right now. You don't. You don't have to care about all the stuff that's going on, because guess what? How much can you change it? You could say, oh man, that's great. I mean, oh man, that's bad. But you know what? We're going to start dealing with shifting the stuff that we can change in our lives. Here it is. We're worried about what's going on somewhere else, and the back door is open. The house is on fire, right? You're sick. You ain't getting stuff together, but yet though we're constantly distracted and we're not focused and we're missing out on the greatest opportunity ever. And that opportunity is consciousness, is your ability to shift, connect, tap in, tune in, and realize and work on the things you can change.
Electrical impulses. Every cell knows and talks to every other cell. They exchange 1,000 bits of information between them per second. Cells group together, forming a giant web of communication, which in turn forms matter. Cells get together, take on one form, deform, reform. Makes no difference, it's all the same. Humans consider themselves unique, so they've rooted their whole theory of existence on their uniqueness. One is their unit of measure, but it's not. All social systems we put into place are a mere sketch. 1 + 1 = 2, that's all we've learned. But 1 + 1 has never equaled 2. There are in fact no numbers and no letters. We've codified our existence to bring it down to human size, to make it comprehensible. We've created a scale so that we can forget its unfathomable scale.
But if humans are not the unit of measure, and the world isn't governed by mathematical laws, what governs all that?
Film a car speeding down a road. Speed up the image infinitely, and the car disappears. So what proof do we have of its existence? Time gives legitimacy to its existence. Time is the only true unit of measure. It gives proof to the existence of matter. Without time, we don't exist.
Time is unity.
샅샅이 쑤셔서 그녀를 잡아봐.
We won't be able to hold it for much longer.
Time to go then.
Are you sure you need such huge doses? I'm afraid you won't survive.
Some cells inside me will fight and defend their integrity till the very end. In order to attain the last few percent, I have to force it. To crack the cells open to their nucleus.
All of this knowledge, Lucy. I'm not even sure that mankind is ready for it. We're so driven by power and profit. Given man's nature, it might bring us only instability and chaos.
Ignorance brings chaos, not knowledge. I'll build a computer and download all my knowledge in it. I'll find a way for you to have access to it.
Yeah.
2014. Y'all ready for today? Who's here? You're on mute.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Hear you now.
Okay. I feel like I didn't get the memo. You didn't give me the memo. Like I need to cover my. You need to be a little extra. Hold on. Let me get a little extra. Here, just gonna be. All right. I just want to make sure that I'm, in one accord here in the building. Good evening, Expanded Consciousness family. Coach Deidre here. I'm totally kidding. Let's give shout outs to everybody in the building. Lindy, it's great to see you, my dear, as always. Good to see you. Chris, as always, thank you for being such a loyal supporter and always tapping in. Hold on, let's see if Mother Gwen is in the building. Hold on. I think I see her there. Mother Gwen, it's so good to see you. Creasy, good to see you. Good to see you. Pastor Seth, good to see you, my friend. All right. Holly. Hi, dear. How are you? Good to see you, Phyllis. Hope you're having a great week. Hi, Oshara. It's great to see you. Dolores, good to see you. All right, that's everybody in the building. Do not forget to like, share. Let's get those numbers up. We got 14 people watching, but only 3 likes, loves, or even angry faces. Come on, give us something. Let's get this. Let's tip the algorithm.
Thanks, Steve.
You are always welcome.
What do you think about that intro? You remember that movie?
I do remember that movie, and I remember even when I saw like The Matrix in 99, I've always said that if Hollywood or those that can control the media can create a storyline about something happening, then it's already in the consciousness. I've always felt that way. So seeing that scene now and then reflecting on the journey that I've gone through in deconstruction and expanding consciousness, I'm like, you know what? This all makes sense. It all makes a lot more sense now because it really is about where we are and it's about our perception. It's always about where we are with our perception. That's how I see it. Oh, Creasy. Oh, that's right. Creasy and Seth are only a few hours away from you now. They're in this. Y'all are in the same time zone. Forgot to let you
they're
know.
in Missouri, right?
Yeah, so y'all are not that far away.
Well, they're in KC.
Hop skip. Yeah.
March 27th through the 29th is going to be a retreat.
Okay, I'll put the dates up because I know I
haven't done any of the marketing, but I just got with my.
Okay. Hey, Tia.
Just got with the director. I'm on the board, but March 27th through the 29th, we're going to have a retreat here, and only come if you want to ship.
I'll be in the building. I'm going to be there. You ain't got to worry. I'm going to be there. I'll put that up, and then we'll start getting registration. Our first expanded consciousness retreat. Can you believe that? Look at the difference a year makes.
Yeah. It's going to be. I have we'll have a live, beautiful sound bath that will rock your world. Probably have some breathwork experiences, some we're gonna have some shifting happening.
I love it. And I won't have to worry about the East Wing being demolished.
I just was like,
I laughed an ancestor. I'm sorry. The ancestors are like, good. Anyway, that's different for a different day. I'm sorry, but I just laughed at my soul when I saw that thing.
Some of the things can be seen, they seem absurd, and maybe they are absurd, but I mean, what is absurdity? Chaos. I mean, I'm not giving it into Awaken Tulsa. Of course, you're the host. What are you talking about? You matter of fact, you didn't get the memo. You should be doing some work right now. Yeah.
It looks like we already got people saying they're going to be in the building. Look like
I need to get it. I need to get it together because I think I'm gonna have. I might have a maximum of. It just depends. In the cabins, I know it's probably going to be maxed out at about 15, maybe. Depends on if you do 2 in a cabin or 1 in a cabin. But I do know there's about 15 cabins. We can do roughly 2 in a cabin, but it'd be limited to probably about 15 people. And then if we have remote people that are just coming in and not staying at the cabin, that might be a little different, which we might have a few of those that are not necessarily people that attend this space here or new people. So we will get it together so we can get bookings, and it's going to be affordable because your food will be included. It's going to be the cuisine is going to be top notch because I got friends that owns top-notch restaurants. And I might cook myself because I do that a lot.
He does cook.
I do a lot of cooking.
I'm sure I'll be doing some teaching, probably on practical spirituality.
Let's go, girl.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Uh-huh.
I need to come a couple days early so I can soak up.
Yeah,
I need to come in.
Your healing, you know what I mean? Healing
but I need to come in a couple days early so I can soak up all the things. Otherwise, I might still be passed out somewhere just taking in all the.
Yeah, I probably will have you do that.
I'm coming in early.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Creasy says she. Creasy says she has Sasquatch, so she's ready to be there.
That's funny. The place where it will be. Yes, cook up your meal. Oh yeah. Yeah. I might even have you guys come over here. I could fit probably 50 people in my house. Breath work, breathing. March 27th through the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have an experience where we'll get to go to Black Wall Street. The grounds where it is going to be a former monastery that has been converted to a spiritual retreat. Not a yoga like woo one. This is more of a sabbatical. It's different.
Well, that's perfect, Tiffany. Then we can go ahead and celebrate.
It'll be a birthday you will never forget.
Mother White, I know you came in late. It's good to see you, my dear. We, Coach just announced our first Expanded Consciousness retreat in Tulsa, March 27th through the 29th in Tulsa. So I'm sure you'll be there.
Yeah, Mother, we're going to meet out at Osage Forest of Peace. And there's cabins. There's no TVs. There's a library with all sorts of books, esoteric, mysticism, Christianity, pagan, all kinds of stuff out there. It's just everything is out there. Anything that someone wants to. It's very intimate, and it's a private chapel. The chapel is, all of this is interconnected. So you got cabins, but you walk to the chapel, and the chapel's connected to the kitchen, which is connected to the main hall, and the library is all in there. It's super intimate. It was developed by some Benedictine nuns, and but it was converted maybe 10 years ago, something like that, 2015 or 2010, converted to just a retreat. And they have weekend retreats with various things. There's a spiritual director who was once a chaplain for a college. He's a dear friend, and we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna probably do an event for the forest. I'm gonna have quarterly professional retreats, sabbaticals for. Okay. Y'all hear that? Mother White is going to have a spirited revives peach cobbler.
Love it.
Now the ticket's gonna go through the roof.
See what I'm saying? Peach cobbler. I mean, put the peach cobbler on the, on the profile of all the things happening. It'll be peach cobbler.
Oh, you won't have to worry. The walking is Creasy. The walking is now there is a trail that if a person wanted to walk it, you could, but the walking is minimal. It's very intimate. It's called the forest. So, and it is on Native American land. Native American Osage. I live in Osage County. But it is, I just, this just, I didn't intend to just pop this up, but you know what? I'm definitely in that mode of spirit. So this is the chapel. This is Native American. Circle is Native American. The top here is like a Buddhist wheel. You got a representation of Christianity to the left, and I think Hindu to the right, and Islam. Most people there, it's interfaith, but most people, there's the Buddhist wheel. So this is a real intimate. So if you need a chair to do the meditations, you can use the chair. Then there's meditation chairs. And then of course, around the perimeter, we'll have a sound bath. We'll have some beautiful, and so this is the walking you'll do. It's just, they call it the forest, but the walking is, there's like the cabins, individual cabins. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is one of the individual cabins. So that's kind of it. See, this is the events that they have. Day of Zen, personal overnight retreat. So when people want to just come and stay, right? This is the history. This is these people, these monks came in. This was many, many years ago. So it's, somewhat sacred ground. You see that?
That's the Dalai Lama, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, look, it's very sacred. These women, Benedictine sisters, was bringing in this stuff that wasn't even necessarily like, they were hiding some things. It has
sounds about right.
They have switched it even since then. There's kind of the map. So you got your main building in the middle, and then you have all these cabins around, and then there's trails, right? And there's little markers and little things in the trails. There's just little markers. There's some bluffs, right? Lookouts. And it's not as big. To walk from the Zen garden to the main house is probably like 50 yards at the best. It's pretty minimal in terms of, but that's one of the main spaces we're going to have, but we'll come into town. I'll figure out that part depending on how many people we have. I know some people to drive, but we'll come into town and do some Black Wall Street stuff probably on Saturday evening, maybe. So, but yeah, it's very, very unique, very different. It's pin quiet. You could see all the stars. Very secluded. It's a beautiful place. And I'm gonna have it ready. Dia come down and Dia have it ready too, right?
And I will.
So I showed a little piece. I want you guys to, everyone that's in the sound of my voice, you can work behind the scenes there. If you're in the sound of my voice, Take a moment to pull yourself away. Pull yourself away from any and everything that you can right now. And one way we do that is through the breath. Shifting. I want you to ask yourself, when you hear the word shift, what comes to mind? Car shifting gears. In a car, you shift gears from high to low, or shifting gears from first gear. You can only go so fast in first gear to second gear. You can only go so fast. If you get up to 4 gears, cars have 8 and 10 gears now, speeds. But if you're in the 4th gear, you can't go. If you go in the 4th gear and you try to actually go from 0 in the 4th gear, the car won't function right. It might die out on you. So you have to shift down. What about when the seasons change? We're in the midst of a season change, moving from summer into fall. Some of the best moments and times, I would say personally for me, is the winter to spring and the summer to fall. Something about that beautiful weather, if it hits 72 degrees, even though I like 60. The earth itself rotating on its axis. Shift. Shift is a movement. It's a transition. It's an awakening. You heard me earlier talk about the White House, and the only reason why I'm talking about the White House is because everybody else is talking about the White House. Just a month ago, we couldn't get enough of Charlie Kirk. Comes up here and there. A month before that, it was something else. A month before that, it was something else. Just exactly about 5 years ago, we were experiencing something that we couldn't imagine. It was such a shift in understanding time and the essence of who we are that most of us struggle with understanding that COVID was 5 years ago when millions of people died. It's almost like we're in a time warp when that took place. But let's go a little deeper. Shift is an awareness. Consciousness is an awareness. Deeper states of consciousness gets a little bit more elusive, but when we really refer to consciousness, mostly, by and large, we're thinking about deep awareness. We say shift the consciousness, shift to alternated states of being or understanding. What I want us to do and understand is that we can shift from an unconscious living to a conscious being. We need to stop reacting and start remembering. When we talk about the things like politics or things happening with politics, it's another way of how they would use religion, and it's been driving us by fear. And instead of just being driven by fear, we can be led in presence or by the presence. Like breath work. You hear about these things, such as breath work. We might do these things. We might visit or go to a breathwork session But very seldom do we get to really understand what does it mean to shift and ways that we can shift. We can shift by words, we can shift in season, we can shift in terms of the speed in which we travel. But when it comes to shifting our being and shifting who we are and shifting from our trauma and shifting in consciousness and begin to tap in, tune in, turn on, turn up, and turn out into who we are. As Dee would refer to the ancestors, it is a spirit, and it is guides that are around us. It is with us. We can tap in, tune in as we get through all of the jagged edges, as we get through all of the creepy crawlies and the uncomfortable edges of what this thing is we call life. The parasitic mind. Something wants to keep us in this mode of hell. I was reading a study recently, and it said that revenge is one of the most toxic or one of the most addictive behaviors. You can be addicted to revenge. You can be addicted to getting back at someone. We're going to take a little small journey, and I want to show you person that talks about what we call is transpersonal consciousness. I'm studying transpersonal counseling. Alongside, I'm getting a little involved with transpersonal ecology. How are we all interconnected? How is it that the universe is inside of you? And we hear that, and we hear go within, and we hear all these things, but we're flipping the station and we're watching and we're hearing the stories about the government, and we're getting absorbed by the world issues. There comes a time when we discuss these and we review these things and we see these things and we hear these things. But whenever it's time for a revolution and we're in a state and you begin to think about the art of war, because there is a war on your consciousness. There's a war on what you are feeling, and there's a war on your emotions. Trauma has been handed out like Tic Tacs. Trump has a big Tic Tac box, and he's sitting back like he lives and thrives off of your energy of screams and fear and yelling and what he's got. He lives and thrives off of it. The laws of abundance and the laws of feeling like you are great, they're not only tied to people that are good people, even people that are not so good people can thrive because they believe that they can thrive. He believes he can thrive. He believes, even though it seems crazy, but you know what? I have to connect to the higher self. I have to connect to spirit, and I have to connect to my divine purpose, which comes with divine authority. Breath work, learning to breathe with intention. When you breathe, we know it's a part of life, and we can go through an entire day and never think about breathing. Most people go through entire days and we don't think about breathing. When you breathe, awareness, your consciousness to your breath. It's like breathing. It's like bringing awareness to your heart. When you bring awareness to your heart, you bring in awareness to your life. When you bring awareness to your life, you bring in awareness to lives. We can go into fear, or we can go into gratitude. But when we are constantly being bombarded with issue after issue after issue, and the people that thrive off of these issues get your attention. It's not that you don't want to know what's going on to make moves. You don't want to know what's going on to how to navigate. But believe me, when you start moving into higher states of consciousness, you feel the writing on the wall. There's a shift happening. There's an enormous shift, and the haves want to have more and take from the have-nots. But what else is new in history? There's nothing new about this. This is not a phenomenon. Listen, as we get deep, and I want you to hear a little bit more about breath work and what it is and how it can help you. This guy talks a little bit about
before the psyche has different levels. The first level is called biographical or Freudian level, and there's two main kind of traumas there. Things that happen to us by commission, they call them, no? And things that did not happen to a human being, which are things that we had omission in relate to. So by commission is all kinds of insults and traumas, which can be physical, verbal, emotional, sexual, no? And these are experiences that are not processed in the psyche, because we have defense mechanisms, so when they do occur, stay in the psyche like an unprocessed open program. So they remain with certain weight in the psyche, and these are not just memories passive, but they also influence the way you feel, the way your body functions, the way you see reality, how you see yourself, how you see relations. Do you think it's a safe world? It's a mysterious place? It's a hellish existence, you know. All this talks about us more than reality, because we see reality through a lens, and this lens is colored by your life experience, you know? So holotropic states have the capacity of opening the psyche, and these unfinished, unprocessed, undigested experiences become processed. So the gestalt, psychological gestalt behind, can finally get close, and you can kind of overcome these traumatic experiences. And then also in traumas of omission, things that didn't happen to you, and I mean like good breastfeeding, being looked at, being held and cared for, no? When there's omission of this kind, it's very hard to work in therapy, because you cannot explain how it feels to be loved or contained, no? But in holotropic states, when a person is in deep regression, it's possible to offer physical contact, and this physical contact, when it's given in the right way, it becomes introjected by the psyche, so the person it becomes like a possibility for themselves too. That's on the biographical level, no? And then there's another level of the psyche called perinatal. Peri is near and natal is the birth, no? So it's related to the gestation and the birthing process itself. And what we see is that in holotropic states, people relive their own gestation and birth, and when there are real problems there, they become the first main important trauma for most human beings. And because the psyche is very new, it's like a new record, no? Like a virgin record, no? This trauma, if it's complex, becomes very central in the organization of the whole psyche. Some people relive it totally literal. You feel the big head, small body, and going through every little single detail that happened there. And with high doses of psychedelics, it's so realistic you cannot stop it. And it's going to be the main issue for the next many sessions, probably until you're through it. Now, when you're really through it, even partially through it, when you start resolving these deep stagnations of emotional sensations and feelings, etc., they really have a big influence in your life. You start feeling much better, no? Like more comfortable in yourself. So Freud would say that we are born like a tabla rasa, like a black whiteboard, no? And then your experience begins constructing, no? But what holotropic states show is that the birth itself leaves a very important first imprint that relates then to many different emotional problems, which are kind of accentuated through life experiences, biographical experiences, but there's already a referent in the psyche, no? And this goes to pretty much all the symptoms that you can experience, which are like the building blocks that build emotional problems. So the perinatal problem, which is the death rebirth level of the psyche, when it's worked through, has a very important influence on many different symptoms. We were born physically, says Grof, no? But not emotionally. So we're still carrying on a lot of this hurt within, and you cannot talk this in therapy. It's not something I remember, you know, because it's a bit deeper in the unconscious. And then even beyond this, there's a whole archetypal, collective, or transpersonal unconscious. And there, you know, is the mystery of who we really are. In there, there's like a memory of the whole of creation, because we are this creation. It's like a reflex within, no? So you can experience a species, for example, from fish or animals or birds, and they are behind, no, through our ancestors and different cultures, different moments within time, and then the whole of the creation of the planet Earth, and then even beyond, no, the whole cosmogenesis. Which this sounds very far out, no? But the truth is, this is what we are. We are this, no? We're not separate from it, we are part of it. And somehow the memory of all this, in terms of consciousness and information, this is available to any human being. So being able to go through these experiences is also super healing, no? Some people, psychiatric patients from Stanford, for example, they had problems, emotional problems, that were not solved in the biographical, not in the perinatal, but sometimes only in a transpersonal experience of a past life, no? Only then they become healed. So this is kind of the whole broad range of the psyche, what the psyche really contains within. And holotropic states have such an intelligence that they will take you where you need to go. It's like a self-tailored process that the psyche directs. So there is no mistakes, no? It's not mediatized by a therapist. We just prepare the person goes, and then they get their own healing. So one beautiful thing is that healing really relies on the subject, not on the person. We are not healers. We have no superpowers, and we don't see nothing, no? We just tell you how to do it, you do it. We can help you if necessary. Then you draw it, and then we talk about it, no? So it's very clean work in that sense, no? It's work you do for yourself, by yourself, and the merit is all yours.
So basically what he's saying is that biologically you are born and you are here. There's a traumatic experience that you will experience going through the birth canal from the time you are here. Depending on if you are a woman or a man, there's a whole nother, a black man or a black woman, or these things in our space can actually weigh on us as something in addition to human condition. No, we're not playing victim. We're just talking about the reality in which the prenatal, the side of just living outside of the biology of all the trauma, and then the actual lived experience. But what happens if you can move into a transpersonal consciousness and realize and connect to the divine of who you really are? Connecting to source, using the body and using the breath in order to really connect to the divine self. Take just some simple breaths. I'm pretty sure you have. And to breathe deep and release. And as you take in these breaths and you're breathing in Bring awareness to just your surroundings. Taking these intentional breaths, possibly with your eyes closed. Know that you are here. Know that your breath is life. Pay attention to the space around you. And take deeper, longer breaths. This is bringing an awareness of consciousness and awakening something within you. The breath of life happens every moment without effort, without command. But how often do you notice it? When we shift our mind from not being aware of it to being aware of it, something happens. And we begin to realize that we are not just breathing, but we are being breath, or we're being the breath, the breathe. We are being it. And as you fine tune this, when you slow it down, you begin to feel it in your whole body. When you speed it up with intention, it provides some level of action. Any form of changing the rhythm. Do that about 6 times and see where you go. All of a sudden, you're beginning to touch the pulse of creation from the east with I think is Pramayana, I believe, in the east, and then you have Tai Chi in China, and across all kinds of different cultures. There was something about understanding the breath. When you first born, it's something understanding about the breath. I don't want to make this conversation about breathing, but I want you to actually begin to apply the shift in your life. And as you bring more attention to your breath, you bring more attention to your life, and you bring more attention to living. When you bring more attention to your living and your life, you might be able to get to a point where when someone begins to talk about the East Wing of the White House, you can then actually physically know if you want to give 2% of your energy, 5% of your energy, 50% of your energy. You can just begin to be like, well, that's sad. It seems. It just seems sad, but I want to shift myself. And I want to shift to the point where I can apply myself to you. My job, my calling, my gifts in expanded consciousness and assuming the role is that I don't pay that much attention. You can, if you choose so desire. Maybe that's your job. Maybe that's who you are. Maybe that's a part of your global change and what you bring to the world, is that place. I want us to awaken. I know that we are awakened. I know that we are in an awakening process and we are shifting. And I'm here to tell you that if you don't begin to shift and begin to realize and understand the opportunity that is here today, this stuff is going to be toxic in its ability to grab our attention into its ability to grab our minds and get us into a space and place that is not productive. Today, it seems that people are living and they're more disconnected from source within them, when this is a time that it's easier to take a moment to awaken and realize that there's something shifting, something different. You often hear people say the power is within you, but how many of us actually access it? A lot of times we chase after the half-built systems and quick fixes, hoping that transformation just happens without any participation. That's that name it and claim it. I do believe that we have the ability and the power to do things with not the exact action and get specific results related to that action. What I'm saying is, like, miracles happen, divine order, divine things happen to people, but you're still going to wake up. You're still going to wake up and you're going to do the necessary things. Go to your bathroom, take a shower. Like, you're going to do these necessary things unless you have something else going on. But as you're doing these things and you going about your day and you waking up for the day and you decide, okay, you got to go to work, and you go to work, and now you focus on your job and what your job is. What happens when you go home? You think about entertaining yourself. You think about food. You think about that person in your life, right? There's so much to distract us from connecting to our divine self. You know, often I think about the stories that character that they name Jesus, Yeshua, and he would often speak about the miraculous things that he said we would do. You will do greater works than these. And I say maybe he was right. Because when you really think about it, we've learned to heal the body through medicine. We've learned to travel the globe. We're able to speak to the world through technology. We are already living in what used to be called miracles, y'all. We're living in miracles. I know we want a superhero and we want to be able to call something great, right? I think most people want end times so they can say, I told you so. They want that revenge, right? I'm just doing this because I'm trying to protect you. No, you're trying to protect yourself, and you're trying to protect your feelings, and you're trying to be comfortable with your own life, living in your own hell. But the question remains, who are we? Are we the creators? Or are we just the created? Are we the doers, or are we the being? shifting is not just about thinking different, y'all. It's about becoming through being. Our actions can bring forth miracles and the manifestations. These things happen between moments of awareness and the movement of what we are doing. The greatest thing that you can ever do is what the government has never done. Consciousness, breath work, breathing, shifting, becoming aware of who we are, why we are. Just a few words, y'all, that I want to say to you. Of course, I have some great interviews coming up. But in the last words, the last thing that Carlton Pearson sent to me was his record, Everything Must Change. I don't know if he knew, and I believe he did, that the last thing he wants to send to me, but he made it an effort as we were chatting to send Everything Must Change, a record he wrote after the rain. Nothing stays the same. Let's venture out just for a quick minute, because I think this was a beautiful talk. And let's hear some of these great, wonderful words. And you can watch more of it. I'll make sure it's posted.
The coroner and the corona present. Coroner represents death. A coroner investigates sudden, unexpected, and sometimes suspicious deaths. So the coroner and the coronavirus is present. There's a lot of things dying, and not just physical beings, but certain standards and certain habits and hobbies and traditions that no longer fit in this century. No longer fit in this season, no longer fit in our consciousness, no longer fit in our community. We as a local assembly, and we as individual peoples, as a city and a state and a country and a nation, a world, are going through powerful, prophetic, even though it seems like pathetic, change. So embrace it and be embraced by it. You don't have to like it. You may resent it, but you don't get to resist it this time, because the universe is clearing and cleansing and correcting itself. It's purging and purifying and perfecting itself without our permission. It's taking care of itself. The universe will last. There's no such real word, at least not in scripture, as the end of the cosmos. There is an end of an age. Jesus is quoted to have said, "Lo, I'm with you always, even to the end of the aeon," where we get the English word eon. This is the end of an age, an end of a period, an end of a time. This is a new 21st century revelation and revolution. The pandemic has been a little bit of a Pandora. We've seen evils. We've seen them all over the earth in disease and stress and anxiety and panic, and economically and socially and structurally. Everything seems tenuous. But there is a response in the universe and in you, your verse, the verse, a version, or versification of humanity that you are. So you must allow that inner space to begin to create the new, and again, not react to the change, but respond to it beautifully. The first step to shaping change, and that's the theme for the entire month, is facing change, acknowledging change, recognizing, realizing, and even welcoming change. Change, as I said, could be minimal, moderate, maximized, and dramatic, but be the drama or be in the drama, but don't allow it to be trauma. It can only be trauma if you make it trauma or wounding. Shift with it. It doesn't have to wound you. It might worry you for a little bit. It might weary you for a little bit, but it doesn't have to wound you. We're going to make the change. We must make the change, manage the change, and ultimately master the change. Whether that's happening in your physical body or your physical being, it could happen in the way you think. We're rethinking. When Jesus says repent, he's saying rethink, reconsider, or after you have thought, think again, because a new kingdom, the cranial cavity that protects the brain and secures the mind, there's a dominion or domain that is shifting in the culture, in the consciousness. Remember that. Whatever happens in the culture happens in the consciousness, and whatever happens in the collective consciousness ultimately expresses itself in the culture. Mm-hmm. And there is a cultivation, a new cult or recultivation occurring in America in so many ways. People are stunned. I'm astounded at this whole idea of Black Lives Matter catching on the way that it did since George Floyd was killed, publicly murdered by a licensed law enforcement officer.
So in this, he's referring back to the era in time. I'm looking at this as consciousness, collective consciousness of an awakening, of life, of love, of going beyond belief. I'm not just deconstructing for fun. I'm deconstructing to reconstruct what it truly means and what it truly is in faith, in love, in connection to the divine source.
The whole country reacted to that. He actually called out to his mother. And I think when he called out to his mother, he was calling all mothers, and mothers of all races, all ethnicities, all nationalities awoke all over the country and heard the cry of a wounded son or child. Notice he called his mother, not his father. Something about calling mama. There's a maternal energy in the universe today. And I believe the ancestors are gathering around us in memories and sometimes memories, nurturing us and nursing us through this pain, nursing us through this pathos, nursing us through this transition. It's a powerful time to be alive. This is not a time to be afraid or frantic or panic, even though the word pandemic or pandemonium is the culture is being demonized. Panoramically, in every direction we look, something is being demonized. I'm not talking about a hairy-hoofed little disembodied spirit. I'm talking about a mind game, the vibrations in the mind that sometimes send confusing signals, and you have to sort and navigate and negotiate your way through your own mind, because your mind changes. Somebody said to me, "When did you change your mind, Bishop Pearson?" I said, "I didn't really change my mind. My mind changed me. My thinking just changed. And I started responding. I studied my thoughts. I asked myself, why are you thinking this? You know, and the scripture says, what meaneth this? That I'm understanding something differently. That whole Pentecostal experience. What meaneth this? That means, what do you mean this to mean? What do you intend this to mean? What is the purpose of this thought? Study the thought before you reject it. Investigate it. Interrogate it. Even excavate, dig down deep and pull something out of the soil and soul of your thoughts that will redefine itself to you and possibly even as you. Resent change, but don't resist it. Because if you resist it, it's a profound exercise in futility. And especially when that change is ordained or ordered by the universe herself. We love Mother Earth, but we've been neglectful of Mother Earth. We appreciate Mother Earth, but we've allowed Mother Earth to depreciate. And this whole shutdown has allowed the Earth to take a little bit of a respite and nurture itself and heal itself. As I said, the universe is correcting itself. There's healing in the seas and the oceans. There's healing in we are 80% water. from birth. We spend the first 9 months of our lives treading water and floating in water. And when we come out, we're 80% water. Our lungs remain 80% moisture or water. So does our brain. 70% of the Earth's surface is water. So moisture and mist or mysticism, these masks that we wear, they've showed all kinds of visuals of it on television. You can see that there's moisture. Breath is moisture. It's pneuma in Greek for spirit or breath. Pneumonia or pneumon is the Greek word for lung. So there's pneumatic. There's a spiritual shift. And we cannot stop breathing, including each other's breathing. But breathing can be hindered. Breathing can be hampered. Breathing can be guarded. Breathing can somewhat be guided. This is the time to respond to your breath, not react to it or someone else's. We love Mother Earth. We appreciate it, but there's a change taking place. Experience is not only what happens to us as a person or as a people, it is what we do with what happens to us. Rethink. Don't react. Just rethink. The universe doesn't judge you so much by what you feel as by what you think about what you feel, and what you think about what you think about what you feel, and then what you think about that. Because thoughts are inventive, they're creative. What you think about, you bring about. Scripture makes reference to the renewing or the redoing, literally the renovation of the mind, the seat of reflective conscience. Conscience, consciencia in Latin, with science or knowledge. Science means knowledge. We're actually transcending and transecting and transfiguring what not only we believe, but what our soul and cells know and or remember.
Transpersonal. We
remember our dismembered selves, our fractured souls and cells. It collectively reconnects with itself. That's what's actually happening. There's a powerful correction taking place in the earth. There's a powerful correction taking place in thought. All of these people, Black Lives Matter. We know that all lives matter. Any normal, moral, conscious, sane person knows that all lives matter. But if we're walking down the street, all houses matter. But if one is being burglarized or vandalized or is on fire, then our attention goes toward the one that's in trouble. You can't say all lives matter if Black lives don't, or red lives don't, or gay lives don't, or white lives don't. I mean, all lives matter, we know. But if there's one, I was in Santa Monica a few weeks ago, and the young man alone walking down the street, he had a sign that says, all lives matter, but those who are hurting matter most. That was a beautiful statement. And it just instantly resonated with my spirit. All lives do matter, but if there's one life hurting, or being hindered or hampered, or some lives hurting, hindered, or hampered, then that life has to matter differently. So we focus our attention. America's on its way to a powerful healing, a powerful revealing and unveiling. Not only discovering, but we're recovering ourselves. We're recovering our souls, and we're beginning to reconnect with things that we didn't know we had disconnected to. The detachment is a reattachment. To shape is to form, to develop, or progress in a particular or palatable way. And to make something fit the form of something else. This is a new form. There's a new formation. There's a new formula. And we're having to learn what that is. To form includes reforming. It includes informing. It includes to formulate or create a formula. We're all going through that. A formula is a list of ingredients for or constituents of something. Making change, managing change, mastering change has some ingredients to it. It takes a certain kind of discipline that both includes science, technology, emotion, intellectualism, psychology, and spirituality. It's a very engaging and somewhat encumbering process. Indeed, it's an exercise of grit, of grain, and even of some groans. It doesn't always happen easily. We feel this. We emote. Emotion is energy in motion. There's a lot of energy in motion in the earth, in the world, in our minds. I'm not kept awake with problems. I'm actually kept awake sometimes at night with solutions. I mean, they're just running through me. Sometimes they run past me. and I try to catch it. It's like keeping a net around my bed so I can catch everything that comes. I'm just downloading them, and I can't stop writing. I can't stop thinking. Even in my sleep, my dreams are becoming colorful. I don't always dream in color, but when something is impacting and more important, I dream in color. I've been seeing things and seeing people I haven't seen in decades. Some aren't on the earth, in the earth realm anymore, but I see them, I sense them. I get a whiff of a cologne that my grandmother may have worn, or a feeling of what I felt in the church when I was a little boy, or my home. I just have all this. It's like everything that counts is collecting around me to reinforce me. I think that's happening in the earth, as I alluded to George Floyd calling for his mother. There is a maternal instinct that is protecting. Mother Earth is protecting her own, protecting herself and her soul. The universe knows how to correct. Our bodies know how to heal themselves. We are fearfully and wonderfully, wondrously made. If we eat right or better, think better, rest better, exercise better, stay away from so many of the GMOs and genetically modified foods and the fatty acids and the animal fats, and try to get more to a plant-based diet to build up our immune system. The people who are prone to contract and possibly even be overcome by the virus are people who are in physical conditions where their immune system is compromised. They say use hand sanitizer. I agree. Wear a mask. I agree. Use toilet paper. I shouldn't have to tell you to do that. But all those things serve a particular cause. But they should also say, in addition to hand sanitizer, mask, and toilet paper, eat better, think better, use a different logic. Sometimes we dig our graves with our forks and our spoons. We need to decide differently what we put in our body. Your body is prepared to protect itself. Any one of us, including the one speaking to you now, has cancer cells in our bodies at any given time. But we also have antibodies in there that are constantly like a physiological military force and source that's just attacking them and protecting us all the time. Our body is creating and recreating itself all the time, just like the universe is creating and recreating itself. That's what's happening in our culture, from government to religion, to economy, to sociology. It's all beautiful. So say that, believe that, know it, and accept the groans. You saw earlier, Yusuf today, a professional potter that we love here at All Souls. He was shaping and molding a special piece, and how he used creative and genius and imagination and artistry, touching and applying pressure in the right ways, in the right and appropriate places and spaces and paces to create masterpieces masterfully. You can recreate, co-create, and procreate your own masterpieces, pieces of the masses and the mastering of the pieces with genius.
So, what do you choose to create? What do you choose to be? What do you choose to shift to? Are you ready to shift? That's the question. I think you are, because you wouldn't be here this long listening to me, listening to Bishop talk, listening to all the other people that I kind of come across, to breathe with intention and to be in this awareness, to live from the truth that is your divine self. It's not waiting for you, it is waiting as you. I don't know about you. There's things that I am experiencing, and I know that I give it to the experience in which I make decisions and I make choices, and sometimes they're not the best, but here we are. And I'm thankful for the grace on the mistakes that we may make. Consequences we may have to deal with, but sometimes those consequences are avoided just because something that we have done or something that we will do. I'll tell you that Bishop left the way he did, but Bishop really was okay with it. He'd been through a lot, went through a lot. He was tired in the thing that he just felt like he lived his life, and he was like, you know what? Carry on. Carry on. Deep breaths. Just deep. Go deep as you can, breathing into your nose. Once you reach the top, see if you could pull in more. And pull it from the root chakra, from the sacral chakra, from your tailbone, from your... Just pull it up and squeeze. And hold it. And release. When you do that again, this time pull up that energy and pull up life, pull up the energy of life, pull up the essence of life, the love of just without the chaos, just with you, within you. Just pull it up, pull it up, pull it up deep. Hold it. You got more, pull it up more and squeeze. And when you release, I want you to let go of all pain, let go of anything that's bothering you, let go of loneliness, let go of the issues and problems that seem like they are here with you. Just release it out with the breath. Go into the state of love. I send out all the energy and all the life force that brings life, brings love, brings peace, brings joy to you. Thank you, guys. Looks like a cooler feature here. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I don't know, it was a new button that was there. So I just decided to, press it. Any comments and questions or anything you have to say to Ms. Deidre?
That last section, everything you said tonight has been great. But that last section with Bishop from 2020 was just really, it was so apropos even for her today. And I think that's what I appreciate about somebody like Bishop Pearson, who was tapped in to consciousness, tapped into spirit, tapped into the human condition. You know, that's what makes it so beautiful, that when we realize that people transition, we have these mediums now to capture their words, you know, their essence, and we can still find relevance today and in the future. So all of it was true, all of it was accurate, all of it was relevant. So thank you. And we'll definitely post that in the Patreon community. And I would agree with Chris that, you know, Bishop was always challenging us to expand and stretch our mind. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Mother Gwen said she was ready to shift. Monderick said, thank you for carrying on, Malachi. And, you know, Oshara is the queen of capturing the quotables. So we gotta, so I always try to, if she posts it, I always try to make sure I catch it. Stop reacting and start remembering. Yeah, that's what we have to do. Going through, when Bishop was talking about what you go through, and you were speaking to it too, the trauma of the birth, and we go through from a dismember to a remember. Like, that is the essence of true spirituality. The trauma that we go through during the birthing process is intentional to dismember. And you asked the question also, are we the created or are we the creator? And we're both. I think you start as created, you know, because you come in as an infant, so you are created. But as you walk this journey called life, you begin, if you're on this journey, you become to understand how much you are not just in the image, but you are the creator. And then you create your reality, you create everything. So you start as created, but if you master this thing, you're going to be creator. That's all I'm going to say.
You're definitely the creator of more than you want to know of your life.
Exactly. So don't let life happen to you. Don't let life happen to you. Life doesn't happen to you. You make life work for you. And Sasha apparently agreed with that because she decided to come in just on that point. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you for all you do always. Sasha, please stop showing your
Patreon. There it is. You can log into the Patreon.
And the Cash App is there too. Because we don't ever want to take for granted the time, the sacrifice, the energy that it takes to put together something like this, just for the technology alone and the preparation. So let's put that back up. I had to get Sasha out the way. Put that back up. Catch up. Malachi Gross. Sorry. Had to get Sasha out the way. She was doing too much, y'all. Y'all know Sasha. Sasha be in the building. Let's see. Oh, great. Thank you, Miss Dolores. You are always so kind. The thank yous are coming in. This Sunday, we are going to meet to do our Sunday book discussion. We're going to be discussing The Signs by Dr. Tara Swart. If you haven't purchased the book, that's okay. Give you a little time to get it, and I'm going to just start going over the introduction and kind of the premise. If you haven't seen the YouTube video, I will most likely post that tomorrow. The YouTube video where Dr. Swart talks about her experience as a neuroscientist and how, with the death of her husband, she had to get out of her analytical mind, and then she began to experience things that she could not explain just by the science and the academic training that she had. And so it's a beautiful it's a beautiful story. And what's happening with her is that she's able to connect what she has learned to what she's experiencing, and makes it relevant for you. So Sasha just wants to say hi, everybody. So we're gonna let Sasha say hey. And I see Brother Chris Chris, you're always full of compliments. We appreciate you, Chris. You are one of our most consistent supporters, consistently here. You come in before time. You are always ready. You're always open. And we just appreciate you as we appreciate everybody. So thank you. But don't forget that Cash App, y'all. Like I said, we don't get rich off this, but we want to make sure that, you know, Malachi puts a lot in. That's all I'm going to say. Malachi puts a lot in. I am not paid for what I do. I am happily the director of operations, but I'm not paid for what I do. So just understand, I don't get paid for this. I do this because I love it. Malachi does this because he loves it. But we want to make sure that we, you know, do what we can to help ease the burdens. Ease the burdens.
We'll grow. And we'll grow.
And we are. And I don't know if you know, I checked today. Drum roll, we got 50 members in Patreon.
Oh, really? I didn't. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I saw that today. We're gonna have to do a celebratory post in Patreon, but we are now up to 50. So thank you.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Don't ever despise small beginnings.
You know, we just for me, learning that you can grow and get to a place that you think you want to be, and you really are not ready. And you know, I think as things change and as we change, growth doesn't always mean success, you know. And so I think more intimate, I think more it's like, I think inclusively in terms of what's available, but I think not everyone can connect to the broad message of expanded consciousness because they may have to deconstruct, or they may have to deconstruct not just religion, but they may have to even deconstruct their spirituality, because they can go instantly woo-woo and things of that nature, right? Instantly into a whole different space. And so
Mother White, I'll message you that. We don't put that out publicly only because it's tied to personal information.
Yeah,
we'll message you.
Yeah.
But I'll message you.
Yeah. So I appreciate it, y'all. And yeah, it's 10. So I don't want to keep you forever. I've noticed that I've looked at some other streams, and the shorter ones, shorter as in like an hour, have the algorithms pick up better. But I could care less. I'm gonna still do this for the ones that are here, and we'll go as long as we want to go.
That's
and
right.
So, but that is all for this evening. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Miracles come knocking like a quiet melody. You got to let them in to set your spirit free. The universe is humming a tune you can't ignore. So open up your heart, there's always something more. Oh, miracles, oh, magic, they dance up in the sky. Believe them with your soul and watch the reasons why. Manifest your wonder, let the journey start. Miracles like rivers, they flow into your heart. close your eyes, belief is the key. Glimmering in darkness like whispers in the rain. Miracles will guide you through the joy and through the pain. Oh, miracles, oh, magic, they dance up in the sky. Believe them with your soul and watch the reasons why. Manifest your wonder, let the journey start. Miracles like rivers, they flow into your heart. They say the world is wild and untamed mystery, but if you close your eyes, belief is the key. Glimmering in darkness like whispers in the rain. Miracles will guide you through the joy and through the pain. Shy away if you want, kid, be afraid if you dare. But this life's no performance, no need for a snare. They'll judge you, they'll doubt you, but don't lose your flame. Miracles are waiting, just call them by name. Oh, miracles, oh, magic, they dance up in the sky.